Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age Mythology Replay. Spawn on the bottom left side as Blue Zeus, we got 5 Angel or V-Angels. Spawn on the top right side as the Red Poseidon, we have AmphibianSurfer. Of course, got a lure here to lure on all these zebras to be eaten, to say the least. When it comes to the major and minor gods, of course, Zeus is the focus on infantry and heroes. You start with a bit of favor, gain favor faster. Myth use cost 1 population, very good there. Infantry do 60% increased damage versus buildings. Nice to have, and hoplites just move faster. And his unique upgrade gives his heroes additional hit points and a little bit of health for gen. And of course, we all know Bolt. Poseidon's, of course, cavalry and economic focus. Spawns militia upon losing buildings. Your cavalry, caravans, and Myth units get increased speed per age. Markets and stables are cheaper. Markets have better exchange rates and get a free hippocampus, which is not going to be important here. Of course, we do have Lord of Wars to give your cavalry increased line of sight and a little bit of health regen. Nothing too crazy, but very nice to have. When it comes to major and minor gods, of course, Zeus can get access to Athena. Athena got access to Restoration, Minotaur, Aegis Shield increases infantry pierce armor, and of course, hoplites increase damage and range. And both players have access to Hermes, Ceasefire, Centaur, Sylvian Vor. Of course, you get free Pegasus here and increase some speed and line of sight, getting better, and you can increase cavalry and speed and damage. Generally, Hermes is probably a bit more likely selected for Poseidon, who can get Hermes as well as Ares. Ares, of course, provide Pestilence, Cyclopes, Deimos, Sword of Dread, early high passes, which probably can be quite nice versus what was his face? Zeus, since he's more infantry focused. Phobos Sphere of Panic is also very nice for Poseidon. After all, it makes your Prodromos get +1 divine advantage. Also, your militia and hoplite get 1 divine advantage as well. So Ares is still a good choice for Poseidon. And of course, you get Enosbor's Horror, make your Toxages a little bit better. I'm generally more biased towards Ares, but Hermes is a good argument for Poseidon, since that can also fix his new cavalry and the hippos. And when it comes to relics, if Red has picked up a relic, it is the Titan's Treasure. Your age ups are 10% cheaper. Ooh, that's pretty good. You got Children Gate Hinge. And of course, with that, now his next age up is cheaper, so him going for the hero, he probably scouted down, it's like, oh, I should grab that immediately. Picks up Emohet. Buildings are constructed 10% faster, which is okay. And the last relic over here is Head Orifice. Line of sight. That's, yeah, this relic's probably the best on the field. The other relics are just not great. Wall hit points of 40% is still pretty nice though, since initial wood walls are pretty fragile. Zeus is going for Hermes. Poseidon not aging up just yet. Both of these major gods can also go for Dionysus next age, which is good for cavalry plays. So Zeus can make cavalry work. Poseidon's also aging up to Hermes as well. Looking at some delicious giraffes. I wonder how giraffe neck meat tastes. We've also got some chickens here. His villagers can be meat wizards and turn chicken into chicken. And a handful of goats here. Goats, of course, the goat, but Red has a lot of goats. Also, eye for husbandry and get all these goats a husband. Double Pegasus by Poseidon. And we've got actually some Centaur being blown in the field by Zeus as well. Also going some Hercules. And Poseidon's not aged up, though he does have Thesis on the field for defense. Of course, age 1 heroes are not great. Winged Messenger now being researched. Taking some damage there. With double centaur here, of course, red centaur will be outnumbered. Get some good damage there. One of the villagers do go down. There's Atlantia. Atlantia is the fast hero. She does move a 5.6, which is almost the same as centaurs. Granted, faster than Zeus centaurs. Ooh, bolts Atlantia. An excellent bolt there. Ceasefire there saves a centaur, and he needed a ceasefire. He was getting hit pretty hard. The late age up was painful for Poseidon, that's for sure. Maybe try to squeeze out watchtowers. Going for stables. Eyeing for some hippos there. He has 15 seconds. He's also lacking a bit of food. He can cancel on the hippos to go get the other queue going. 3, 2, 1. Thesis here. Jason and Hercules trying to hit some of these villagers. They will shank the centaur. Thesis is going to be quite outnumbered. Red is now going for another centaur zone. The hip is now being pulled on the field. Blue's trying to rotate around. 2 centaurs. We got some hoplites here. Of course, they have a little bit of bonus in for buildings. Nothing too significant in this age, but still quite nice to have. Hippos here. Hoplites are technically a counter to the cavalry, but not really. Plus 25%. It's not a massive counter, more of a soft counter at this point. But they're generally a pretty good journalist infantry either way. More hoplites in the build queue for blue. Red centaur could be a very nice help with all the hoplites. Hippos will have a bit of trouble. Probably squeezing out a archer range is not going to be very likely. Villagers trying to escape out of there for all that delicious meat. Watchtower has definitely been needing that. Going for the backline chickens. Try and pull back the militia. Trying to just get an extra bulk on the field. Medium infantry now being researched by Zeus. Hoplites, perhaps push to forward. He can be picked on off. He has a lot of things nearby. Blue can't be splitting up his forces like that. Does not have access to a ceasefire. Another stable goes down, pulls back those militia. Couple wounded centaur there. Scout down south. Building some more archery ranges. Blue is now advancing on the left side. We do have a Pegasus here. Delicious giraffe meat, neck meat being obtained there. I wonder how giraffe actually tastes in real life. Same thing with Pegasus. How does Pegasus taste in real life? Clearly both of the are mythological units, because we ever heard of an animal that has a really, really long neck? Now think about it. It has no survival aspect. It is purely meant for vanity. And that part's actually true. The giraffe necks are actually a vanity trait, like peacock feathers. It had nothing to do with trying to reach up high to eat trees. Looks like the heroes do get trapped there. Jason manages to escape on out of there. And Hercules has gone down. That's not Jason's organ. Nah, that joke was not original, and I couldn't even do it right. It's not Argon, not his problem. Yeah, that was not an original joke, and it was horribly done. We do have, looks like Apollo queued on up for Zeus. Manticore are very nice. It could also be, the sun rays also be used for the centaur he has on the field. Healing Temple could be very nice as well. Zeus or Poseidon will very likely age up with Dionysus to get the Tharkian horses. Got a lure now established in the field, another lure, which also summons some chickens. And something I always forget that if you zoom on berry bushes, you see butterflies. Got some stables being pulled in the field. Looks like Poseidon's eyeing a bit of stability in his life. Oh, Centaur here, getting a bit of damage on these units. And this settlement is, or towns that are being built, the Pegasus can't really exist there for too much longer. Blacksmith deployed in the field, going for copper shields for Zeus. Right now, Poseidon's army of Hippus and Toxtes, so Zeus could go for his own Hippus, help counter. Peltax could be a possibility, but Hippus in this case would be not only be on somewhat equal footing versus the other Hippus, but also be able to counter the Toxtes. Zeus is researching crenellations. Looks like, there we go. Zeus, Poseidon's been having population issues. 41 versus 36 villages. Both players are pretty low still, but now Zeus has a secondary town center, and Zeus is now aged on up. Has decent gold reserve as well. Low in food and wood, though. Those are running out of delicious giraffe neck meat there. That's all 5 of his villagers collecting food right there. So plenty of chickens back here from the him to obtain. Pegasus does take a bit of damage there. Pegasus does get shot down. I don't know why that monkey there looked like a dwarf. Ugh, my mind's getting a little bit melted. Lord of Horse has been researched, so now got a little bit of health regen on these Hippus. Right now, these hoplites are moving at a speed of 4.9. Hippus right now moving at a speed of 5.7. And we got these forces pushing along the flank. Hippus being engaged here. Oh, another ceasefire by, this time by blue, the other ceasefire. The most epic ceasefire song. We do now have the fortress now being established now. Zeus needs more food to age on up, as well as a bit more gold. Poseidon actually has plenty of gold. Need more food for an age up. Manticore firing away. Now he knows what god. I suppose it does pop up saying, "Oh, went age up through the advancement of certain god here." But now seeing the Manticore, if he didn't get that earlier, he definitely knows it now. And Poseidon still actually aged through 2. Now think about it, he needs a lot more food before he can age on up. Red's pushing his way forward, has a good amount of force here, but the force is going to be a bit of an issue for him. Cleans up a number of villagers. Centaur has been shot down. Oh yeah, Poseidon does also have cheaper age ups, thanks to that one relic. Taking out some of these villagers. Zeus is now going for heavy infantry. Taxei is being picked off by the town center. Right now, Zeus probably doesn't really need heavy infantry at the moment. He does not have enough forces to warrant it. Taking those resources, spending into units would be a bit better at the moment. The Red's going to fall back now. And Zeus is going to transition to some farms. E-I-E-I-O. Berries here can still be obtained. Poseidon's currently just going for more Taxes. He's playing wood and gold for them. He needs more food to get the age up going. He has queued up Dionysus. Dionysus is now being researched. We do have some more Hippus on the build queue. Blue's also going for Hippus as well. He has aged up, so Prodromos wouldn't be half bad either. A large number of Toxdays. Prodromos wouldn't necessarily counter Toxdays, but at least they would offer a different damage type that Toxdays cannot counter. And these Hippus are so Dark Age by Zeus. These Hippus are engaging, raiding some villagers. Right now they're at 13 damage, these Dark Age ones are at 11. Zeus right now has 158 favor. That is a lot of favor. Of course, he does also have one less population, so I think Manticores are pretty good myth units for Zeus. Because it'd be a 3 population Manticore. We have the Sylvan lore now being researched, giving us look at pole marks. Red is massing more forces, various upgrades by Poseidon. Zeus is now going for Spirited Charge. We do now have some medium Prodromos now being on build queue for Zeus, which is very good, I would say.
Λέγε.
Does take out some of these hippos there.
Πρόσταγμα.
More Prodromos being deployed in the field. We do have a fortress here now established. Lure can still be used as a food drop off of these farms. Wait. Oh, Lure can research text? Has it always been like that? Yes, it can. Sort of wish that Lures also occasionally spawns out chickens. I think that'd be a great way to buff it a little bit. Enough for one village to gather up at all times. You now have Hydras being pulled up by Poseidon. Looks like Poseidon's going to hail Hydra. We got another ceasefire by Zeus. He did have, and still does have good stockpile of favor. But looks like he's going to use this time to not rotate these forces, whether it be forward or sideways. These hippos now rotating around over here now. Got some Prodromos here by red. Not too many though. Blue has a superior number of Prodromos. Hydra will pose a problem. Zeus can deal with the myth units respawn up. Bronze there by red. That's going to cause some issues. Blue should try halting it out. Ceasefire still on cooldown. He has enough favor for it, but on cooldown. Hydra needs to start gauging the structures. Has a bit of crush damage to work with. Odysseus looks like we're going on down there.
Πρόσταγμα.
Bronze better wear off, or the forces will be going down as well. Blue's now trying to respawn. Hippos and Prodromos pushing forward. Does manage to keep the villagers out. Hydra does go down. Red's Prodromos reinforcing. Red's managed to maintain keep his Toxis quite safe. He could have entered the fortress of his Hippos and eject on the far side and flank the archers. And the archers would have been very good. A couple Hippos, fresh Hippos being spawned out over here, getting some good hits on those Toxides. Fortress starting to take some damage here. Blue's sort of hanging on, but taking a lot of damage there. Fortress does go down. And some of these villagers are starting to be picked on off. Another Hydra pushing way forward, bashing his head against the town center. Zeus is going for a large amount of favor here. He does have one relic inside, which makes buildings construct faster. What if that affects the Titan Gate? Either way, Zeus is pretty close to aging up, but I don't think it'd be a good idea to age up when he's this far behind a military count. Though a Hera Lightning Sword could help him stabilize the game. More Jasons, more Hercules being queued on up. Some of these outlying structures are being cleaned on up. Oh, we do now have the underwater passage. That's what Zeus is eyeing. Eyeing for a counterattack. Way up here. Of course, hoplites do have a bit of bonus damage for structures. And Zeus is now aging up, going for Hepatus, not for Hera. We'll take out the fortress, but... And looks like Cattle going straight for the underwater passage. Traps a good number of the hoplites there. Very nice. Those is trying to swarm around. Yep, this underwater passage gave Zeus some breathing room, but that's about it. Taking out a fortress like that's nothing too significant. I don't think he has Healing Temple research either. So, can't be healing up these units at the moment. And he has so much favor stored up. Yeah, we'll have enough for a Plenty Vault, and we'll almost have enough favor for another Plenty Vault. This is way too many villagers in favor, I would say. There are 17 villagers in favor. Some of the units are very nice. Colossus not like one you want to spam out. Manticores is one you want to spam out, but I have he's starting to kill some Manticore now, but he still actually had that queued up and still have the 200 favor, 300 favor. Right now it's maximum population. No fortified town center. He only has the one town center actually in the moment as well. He's now aged on up, has a free Colossus, Plenty Vault summon, underneath some farms. We do have... Did they change Artemis? That looks different. Then again, maybe just use the old Gold Edition Artemis. Because that just looks different. Am I crazy? Maybe not. Then again, it's actually been a while since I've seen somebody actually queued up Artemis. It usually happens to have been in season for quite some time. Earthquake God Power is very useful to say the least. Texas will be shot down. Got two-headed Hydra there. Manticore firing away. Don't think Sunray's been researched just yet. And that's a pretty good mythological upgrade. Luke has another ceasefire there. I'll save his villagers over here, so 2 for 1. Artemis is now being researched. Blue sword just standing there menacingly. Looks like bronze and ceasefire will subside at about the same time. No watchtowers, let alone crenellations, help out with defense. And the Prodromos can stick around for now. Got the hoplites for 4, gets good damage. Colossus here for his siege damage. We do have, of course, the Manticore firing away. Prodromos picking up some villagers. Red ceasefire. That's interesting. Sunray's now being researched by Poseidon or Zeus. Very nice. He almost enough favor for his secondary Plenty Vault. And it's almost off cooldown while at it. He is low on wood. So Plenty Vaults would be very nice. He actually needs wood for more farms if you so choose. Plenty Vaults may not provide plentiful enough for wood. 3 Manticores firing away, gains some great damage. Artemis almost complete. Got multiple fortresses here by red. We got a large number of mire drones being put up by not this fortress, but another fortress. Yeah, I would just say save up for another Plenty Vault. You're pretty close to it. Oh, it looks like Plenty Vault got nerfed. I thought it was 4 for each. And it looks like it got nerfed down to 3.5 for each. Pegasus does get shot down. Multiple military academies going up. Got a pile of research here.
Πρόσταγμα.
Picking off more of these Toxdays. Got the Bellerophon attacking.
Ετοίμος.
Right, starting to advance his way forward. Gonna Toxdays and going for some high passes as well. Makes way to this town center, so it looks like a bit of a base race situation. Mire drones standing to engage. They have good divine damage, to say the least. This is the side of the... Oh, there's the Earthquake, targeting right there. He may also grab him. Red may grab himself a Plenty Vault. Blue's pretty close in more favor for another Plenty Vault. However, the temple did get destroyed. Red's now pushing way forward over here. It's definitely a base race situation. Bolts, the Manticore, not a bad idea. Was it the first bolt? No, that was the second bolt. First one was a Lantia that got bolted. Still no watchtowers, but I should have gotten at least watchtowers going. Correlations would have been very nice as well.
Λέγε.
Still got Dark Age high passes for red. This town site has gone down. Of course, got the watchtowers here causing issues, filled with delicious villagers. Barracks gonna go down here. Another underworld passage there to withdrawal. Looks like he's using the withdrawal. Does obtain this town site here. An extra fortifications nearby wouldn't be half bad. Blue now has 4 town centers, 250 population. Red's now taking on this town center here. And now the donkey caravans need to be retasked this one. Toxation pursue these guys over here. Gain some damage onto these Toxdays. Not these Manticores are quite damaged. Armory's gonna go on down. Manticore's getting some great splash damage. Which they don't do splash damage, they just have a large weapon spread. Hercules will go on down here. Did a good job holding line, now the Manticore gets more damage going. Could see some catapults, petrol over here. Red's gonna go for this town center once again. Those gonna make his way over there. Donkey caravans very much idle there. That's not good. Plentiful still in Blue's hand, but that should be changing relatively soon. Unless the Red has now obtained the Plentyvault. Blue now has a pretty good amount of wood and gold stockpile with some food to work with. Poseidon has a good stockpile of food and gold as well, with some wood to work with. Zeus has now consumed all of his favor. And for more Myrodromes, not from this fortress, so I'm not sure which fortress he's booting Myrodromes from. Unless it is that, oh yeah, it is that one, just that I don't have him select, that's why I don't see the Myrodromes popping out or queued up there. Myrodromes are nice and all, but they're not the end-all be-all unit. Idle Village is not good. Doing something's better than nothing. Would be collecting berries, chopping wood, collecting up a handful of gold.
Έτοιμος. Λέγε.
Still Dark Age Hypastus here by Red. He needs to at least get medium. If not medium rare. Fastest and Lantia not being queued on up. Got Polyphemus and Hippolyta advancing over here. Sounds like a great idea. Prometheus relies quite a bit on armor. And Myrodrome bounce back and forth. And the divine damage will rip apart the heroes. Red's now advancing over here. Got Champion, Toxphase, and Dark Age Hypastus. Blue's not going for large enough Pell Pass. And Blue has enough resources for a Titan Gate. And partial task 8 builds on the temple there. Blues will now reobtain the Plentyvault, very important. It's quite plentiful in resources.
Πρόσταγμα έτοιμος. Έτοιμοι.
Heliopoli has taken some damage. Peltas or Hypastus trying to counter the Toxphase. Exes are having a bit of a meet-up there. More Myrodromes being summoned out by Zeus. Over here trying to go for another town center. Getting those farms up and running will help out Zeus' food income. It also still has a good number of idle villagers here. Yep, donkey caravans. Yep, there they are. We do now finally have medium Hypastus. Keep us pushing way forward, trying to engage those Hypastus now. More barracks over here being established. Town center, going straight for another town center, very nice. This will put them up to 250 population versus 210. Zeus is not really doing a good job of macro though. He's been relying on single queues of Mara drones. He has still plenty of spare population, soon to be like 70 spare population space. Just getting barracks out and just spamming out hoplites will be better than not doing anything. So yeah, actually just mostly as gold with a bit of favor. Maybe Colossus? No, wait, yeah, he has gone for Hepatis, so maybe Colossus could be a possibility. I could see him, I do see why he would be going for another Plenty Vault. But needs to go for a build more than just one queue, to say the least. My drums, they do build relatively quick, don't they? 4 seconds, yep. We also got Belphoron and Odysseus being queued on up. Still a bit of gold here for him to obtain, 500. Fortress there, we do have a storehouse here, just to get a bit of wood going. Red, maybe I'm sending some villagers over here, maybe trying to go for the Plenty Vault, maybe trying to go for this. I don't know if the Plenty Vault is in the sphere influence of the town center. Zeus could take time and use that fortress to build some Petrobolos to help deal with all these structures. Blue's now pushing forward, does take up the fortress there. And Blue's trying to push his way forward. Number of villagers in the range. Does go for bronze, however a good chunk of this force is out of range. If it's not pushing forward, they're not under influence of bronze, I believe. Yeah, Toxies are 60-60, these guys are 38-38. It's not a global ability, bronze. Ceasefire summoned out by Zeus. And I just realized my hard drive space is rapidly shrinking down. It says 10 minutes left. One of this game will be done in 10 minutes. Or do I need to sneak a couple file deletions during the ceasefire? Up a folder to delete these handful and empty recycling bin. There we go, that should give me about some gigs to work with. Hip is push right forward, trying to get the high past this. Talk stays in the back line firing away. Red looks like trying to push his way forward, going for more forward fortresses by Red. Mire drones, of course, very good combatants, able to ignore all of your opponent's armor. Another ceasefire. Wait, was it blue or red ceasefire last time? Oh yeah, the blue's still on cooldown. This has been a game where I don't think I've ever seen this many ceasefires. Zeus has 24 villagers in favor. Of course, does provide diminishing returns after 8. But still, going for the second Plenty Vault would be very nice. How many times do I have to say that? Either way, right now, Red is at a very little population in the field. 37 military units. He has not a lot of gold, so gold is his big issue. He has not been going for donkey caravans, so he has still 8,000 wood. Sell off 6,000 wood and go from there. He has 20 villagers in favor. Of course, he's not gone for Aphrodite, so maybe at this rate, Centaur is what he needs to put on the field. They cost wood. Hydras cost food, and Chimeras, do they cost wood or... I can't remember what Chimera cost. I think it's different than Gold Edition, so... Because beforehand, I think they cost gold. It could cost wood now, I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out a little bit later. Taking out the fortress there. Blue's trying to break on out. The donkey caravan's been very useful for him, not to mention the Plenty Vaults. Got a Centaur here. Going for multiple Centaurs now. However, the Centaur is a little bit unsupported. The militias come out to support him. Centaur down. More Mire drones queued on up, going for another Belphoron. There's a temple. Managed to get 3 relics there. The last relic is out in Blue's old original base. Sitting on the ground. Blue's also going for Centaurs and going for the Secret of Titans. Let's see, Chimeras cost food. And looks like Red does back the game now. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.